Hello students, as I announced yesterday that from today I will start the new chapter from the new book of NCRT, that is Ganita Manjari. And the first chapter is coordinate geometry, that is coordinate geometry. Now I will explain the basic concept of the coordinate geometry. Actually my method of teaching will be, I will first complete all the chapters, all the overview of the chapter, and then I will start the exercises of the chapter. Uh, Now, first we have to understand what is coordinate geometry. Now, see, what happens is when two lines when two lines intersect, bisect each other, and they are mutually perpendicular to each other. When two lines, this line one and the line two, bisect means perpendicular to each other, they are intersecting, they are bisecting each other, and they are perpendicular to each other, creating 90 degrees. 90 degrees from all the four angles are 90 degrees. Then they are creating a new concept of coordinate geometry, which is helpful in our real life, in GPS system and many more. Aviation system. This Cartesian plane is very helpful to locate a specific location. Now, see what happens. We have to understand this concept. We have to understand the calculation of this concept. Then, this plane where two lines are perpendicular to each other, creating 90 degree, is known as, this plane is known as Cartesian plane. Now, what happens is when these two lines intersect each other, they create four boxes. This four portions. First portion is known as first quadrant, and the second portion is known as second quadrant, and the third portion is known as, this one is third quadrant and fourth quadrant. We have to take it anti-clockwise direction. We have to consider is in an anti-clockwise direction, and the value. See, you can see that this and this one is x-axis and y-axis. The opposite of x-axis will be the opposite of x-axis will be minus x-axis, and the opposite of y-axis will be minus y-axis. Now, a very important thing, the value on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, similarly, minus 1, minus on the minus side, and 1, 2, 3, 4 on the y-axis, and minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, and minus 4, and minus 5 is the value on the minus y-axis. Now, the value on the x-axis is known as abscissa. All the value on this axis is known as abscissa, and the value on the y-axis is known as ordinate. Now, how to remember this? As you know, A is the first alphabet in the alphabet series, and X is no X come first before Y. Then we can relate like that. That X is related to A, then X is the value in the abscissa, and Y is related to O. Then the value on the Y axis is ordinate. We can understand like that to not create confusion in our mind. Now, next thing is uh, um, first coordinate, second, third, fourth coordinate, abscissa, ordinate, and uh, no. Then, how to find any point on this Cartesian plane? How to find the specific point on this Cartesian plane? Now, as you can see, I will blindly mark a point on this Cartesian plane. Suppose I mark this point. Suppose I mark this point. I'm blindly marking the point. What is the actual value of this point? That we have to understand. From there, we can understand new topics like distance formula and marking the points, on this Cartesian plane. How to denote that point? These two concepts we can understand by this. Now, see what happens. This point is how far from the x-axis, that we have to understand. As you can see, the distance from x-axis is how much? 1 unit, 2 units, 3 units, 4 units, and 5 units. It means it is 5 centimeter or 5 meter. Unit means what? It can be meter, centimeter, anything that we are calculating. No, let us consider centimeter. Then this unit, this point, let us consider P, is how far from the x-axis? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units away from the x-axis. 5 units away from the x-axis. Now, the value of this point on the x-axis is 5, and from y-axis, how far this point is from the y-axis? 1 unit, 2 unit, and 3 units. Then the specific value, the specific distance of this point is 5 comma 3. No, then 5 is the value on the x-axis and 3 is the value on the y-axis. Similarly, both the values are plus. Both the values is positive. X is also positive, y is also positive. But if you will find the value on the second quadrant, then you can see x will be negative. Then it will be minus x comma y will be positive. Then um, the value on the third quadrant will be x is minus and y is also negative. The minus x and minus y. Similarly, what will be the value on the fourth quadrant? That will be x is positive and y is negative. Now, the last concept of this chapter um, will be the distance to finding the distance between 2 points by using distance formula. Nowadays in new book it is defining the distance between the 2 points on the Cartesian plane. Now see, suppose suppose I have to find the distance between any point on the Cartesian plane. How I can use, suppose I have to find the distance between let us consider this point and this point. How I will find the distance between these 2 points? How far is this point from this point? How I will find? I will use a distance formula. See, the Buddhian Pythagoras theorem states that to find any distance. Let us consider distance A and B. The distance between the point A and B can be found out by using the formula, that is distance AB is equals to root over x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. What does this means? Let us understand this first. Then we will do questions related to this in the exercise. Now you can see the value of this point. What will be the value of this point? There will be some value on the x side and some value on the y side. The value on the x side is you can see the value on the x side is 1. It is 1 unit away from the no. Then the x is minus 1 and y is how much? Y is 4. So y will be 4. Similarly, the value on the b side will be how much? From x-axis, it is 3. No, it is 1 unit, minus 1, and from y-axis, it is minus 3. Now we will put all this. We will put this value. This one is x1 for us and y1, and this will be x2 and y2. We will put the value in this expression so that we can find the distance between these two points. This was the overview of the chapter, and if any concept is remaining, then I will when I will start doing the question, I will explain at that time. This is all about this chapter. Thank you for watching this video and subscribe the channel so that it can reach to the more and more students, and comment below if you want to understand uh, any other thing about this chapter. Then I will make videos on that.